Good afternoon, rose lovers, and welcome back to my garden again. And today I'm going to take you to the last and final part of my garden tour. And this will probably be a very shorter one because I've only got the middle part of the garden border left to show you. And today as well, it's a lovely, lovely hot day. I think my roses are really struggling with the heat. And first I will show you this. This is Royal Jubilee. Isn't she fantastic? Super rose with a super health. This was one of my best repeat flowering roses last year, and if I was going to do one, I'm sure this one would be have a spot in it. And this is a rose called Ebb-Tide. You know, funny enough, a chap from YouTube, a very famous chap in America, said this is one of the most fragrant roses. And for me, it is fragrant, but far from fragrant, very fragrant. And it's just has a medium scent, that's all. But when he said that was one of his most famous for fragrant roses, I thought, what? How's that possible? It's only Ebb-Tide. It's not famous for having a scent, but you know, we all have different sense of smell, so I can't really argue with that. And this is Desdemona, and Desdemona is almost finishing her first flush now. And as you see, I deadheaded a lot of these old blooms away, and a lot of these blooms are looking almost, it's going to go over. And port of sunlight, really lovely rose, lovely rose, very healthy and very prolific. And Princess Anne. Let's have a look at these blooms. Really very thorny as well, this one. And I would say it's got an average scent. And for me, this is just an average rose. Honestly, nothing really that special or spectacular about this rose. And this is Summer Romance. Very tall, very healthy German rose bred by Cordes. And how does it smell? I know the smell. Yeah, it wasn't really my favorite last time. And to tell you the truth, it really smells like a bit of damp clothes with a hint of perfume. Oh, sorry, Summer Romance, but that's just me personally. Yeah, this heat is really drying up a lot of these buds. And wow, look at this. Gabriel Oak. This rose really impressed me last week at the David Austin's garden centre, and absolutely love this rose. And there is nothing wrong with this rose. It has all the attributes of a great rose. Really healthy and very abundance of flowers, and equally, wow, has a very strong scent. So really, this rose seems to have it all. And where are we? This is James Judi Dench. What can I say about this rose? To tell the truth, not a lot. It really isn't a very good rose to have. It's not prolific. The scent is just, it's just an average scent. And overall, it really isn't a really good rose. And again, I reckon David Austin will eventually retire this rose. I'm sorry, Dame Judi Dench. You're not in my favourites, I'm afraid. And this one here is St. Ethelburger. It's a cutting which my sister gave me. It is quite small at the moment. It's only 2 years old, but I am getting about 10 or 15 buds on it. And this is Bring Me Sunshine, planted from bare roots earlier on in the year. And this is really struggling to thrive at the moment. Perhaps it is quite early in the year, and give it a bit more time, I'm sure it will do all right. And this is a Darcy Bustle. Yeah, it looks pretty poorly to me. And a retired D.A. Rose. And it's probably a good reason why it was retired. It isn't really a very good rose. And even you can see with the leaves, there's a lot of black spots there. And this is Rhapsody in Blue, right inside my the center of my border. And this one is Lady Emma Hamilton. Wow, she is in such a poor state this year, and I don't think she'll be winning any medals for me this year. Yeah, she shot to fame last year, but I'm afraid this year it's not going to be her year. And what have we here? It's Claire Austin. I can't really see very well because of the bright light, but Claire, she's a vertical climber. These petals are very, very fragile, and again, very, very not last. These petals don't really last very long, honestly. They're just so look, even just touching it, the petals just fall off. It's an average rose for me. Nothing really to write home about. And this one is Silas Marner. What can I say about this rose? Very, very fragile. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's just so fragile. And this heat is really, again, struggling in the heat. And something really should be in partial shade, really. And the smell is lovely. Really, really lovely smell. I can't really describe the scent. I think it may be just a bit fruity. But there is a lot of buds on this, a huge amount. And Olivia Rose Austin, finishing her first flush already, and starting to push out new growth ready for the second flush. And this one is Alnwick. Alnwick smells nice. Yeah, she's got one of the nicest classic rose fragrance there is. But look at that. Really, certainly struggling to perform in this country. And there isn't that many bud on this one. Again, this is a discontinued one, and probably for a good reason too. Jim L. Austin. What a fantastic rose this is. Fantastic in many, many ways. And look at how upright these blooms are. And every single bud is almost pointing upward. And even the flowers itself, they're all pointing up. Nothing looks out of place. And I really, really love this rose as well. And I really recommend it as well. It is almost as it's a bit like a Gabriel Oak, but without the strong fragrance of Gabriel Oak. But I think on par, they're both very, very good roses. And Lady of Shalott. rose that really is a flower machine. I never knew she had a scent as well, but she does have a light scent. But overall, a very, very good rose. I think anyone should have this rose. And Queen of Sweden, well, what can I say? I'm always disappointed with this rose. A rose that really has no scent. I know a lot of people, some people says it smells amazing, you know, but for me, I'm getting a very light scent, but a lot like not a nice scent. It's not fresh, it's not fruity, and these flowers are very small compared to the size of these stems are really solid. Now, these flowers are okay, they do look very, very beautiful, but it really is nothing good about this rose. It's almost as if it's too neat. I prefer my rose with a bit of wow to it. And yeah, Queen of Sweden. For a compact space, this might be a good rose, but not in my garden. And towering above everybody else is Bathsheba. That is such a monster of a rose, very, very prolific, and a rose that has a very lovely scent, very, very murky sort of myrrh scent. And I have a trellis right in the middle there, but it just seems to be outgrowing the trellis. But there is a really sad and downside to Bathsheba. I mean, you see a lot of these blooms up there. There is a lot of balling up. These flowers don't always open entirely. Look at that. And it is quite a messy flower, let's say. These are almost, just give you an example there. Look at that. Yeah, it just doesn't really, that's probably the only rose in my garden that has the tendency of balling up. But it didn't ball up like this one here. It looked really, really pretty. And I love the fragrance on that one. So now you've seen most of the roses in my garden now, and let's just go and have a look at the few roses that I have at the front of the garden, and let's go and have a quick look. Right, I'm just going to show you what I've got flowering at the front, and this one is a rose called Julia Child, and an absolutely fabulous rose, and ironically it is called Absolutely Fabulous as well in this country. And fantastic yellow plant, and with a lovely fragrance. Not very strong, but just really nice. And this was only planted earlier on in the year as from bare root, and there's a lot of new fresh basil shoots coming through as well. This is a very, very healthy looking rose, and recommended by many people online. And so far, I would definitely recommend this rose myself. It really is such a beautiful, lovely, reliable rose to have. Really, really good. And moving on, this is Leonardo da Vinci. I have 4 of these. I bought it as I bought one first, and then I liked it so much I went and bought another 3, and it came as a package. And moving on to this is a new one as well, and looking absolutely beautiful and healthy, and really looking forward to seeing this one in bloom. But this is what I really want to show you. Look at that. Roses flowering alongside peonies. Really an unusual sight. these peonies, I don't know what they're called. This one is a rose called Peace. Gigantic, enormous flowers. Look at that. It's one of the biggest. And all the irises have gone now, so it's the turn of the roses. And this is Eustacia Vi. Look at it, basking in sunlight. Beautiful. Look at these beautiful multicolored purples. Actually, no, it's pinks and apricot. This part of the garden may be a bit small, but certainly really packs a big punch. And look at that. Does it not look like a bouquet of flowers? So I've got 2 Eustacia Vi's here, along here. And this is a really sunny location. And this one below one is a rose called Heidi Klum by Tan Tao. Never really have done very well for me, but I don't really want to pull it up. And this one is a David Austin rose cutting, which I took with Royal Jubilee. Isn't she fantastic? Wow. I do like this part of the garden because it's almost acts like an island where I can view it from all different angles. And then I'm gonna look at the other few roses. Look at that. I'm really super chuffed. And here's another Strawberry Hill, and move from the back of the garden. And it seems to have preferred the move, as I see a lot of lateral fresh growth, and something I've not seen for quite a long time from this bush. And it is starting to mingle alongside my Chinese wisteria. And this wisteria I have planted on the front of the house is about 4 years old. And from a really tiny 2-foot plant, 4 years it's grown so much. And I've read online that you're supposed to prune wisteria twice a year, once in autumn and then once another time in spring, but I've only done it once, and yet I'm still getting a lot of flowers. So really go to show that you don't really actually need to prune it twice in order to get the root bloom. And perhaps I was just lucky, I don't know. And then below that is a rose that I thought I've always had, and this is Scepter d'Isle. And now that I finally got her, I'm so impressed by the strong myrrh fragrance on this rose. And this can adapt to partial shade, and this area is quite shady, so hopefully it should do well. And this one is a Leonardo da Vinci. But look at this. This is a rose called Maverna, bearing clusters of blooms on each stem. And look at this unusual color. It really, one of the first purple blue flowers that I have in my rose collection. And I haven't really tried to tie this down, because I know these stems are quite thick and sturdy, so holding these many blooms in one stem isn't really too much of a problem for this rose. And really lovely sight. And this one is Parfuma de Provence, planted from bare roots only earlier on in the year, also known as Delish in US. And another newly planted bush is Generous Gardener, a climbing rose by David Austin. And eventually, give it a few more years, it should climb tall enough so it will mingle alongside my wisteria. Really looking forward to seeing that one day. Right, that's it. Let's get back to the back garden. Right, I am back in my back garden now. And just before I end today's tour, I'll just give you a quick whiz around my garden. I'll just give you an oversight of what it's looking. And it's been a pleasure for me to show you around my garden. And hopefully by seeing what I have in my garden, give you an idea of what colour and what type of roses that you'll be looking to add to your collection. My next video, I'll be looking to find 15 of the most fragrant roses in my garden. And this year I've added quite a few additions, and finding 15 is going to be a challenge in itself. And that's it for today. And this is where I say goodbye, and I will see you all again soon. I hope you all have a lovely day.